Deep South were back for their 13th installment of the Carnage Cup, and that took place on October 21st. Round 1 would consist of 4 triple threat matches with only one person being eliminated. First up would be Little Sicko versus Brian White versus the Carnage Cup 10 winner, John Rare. Just getting the tournament started off, Little Sicko was nearly impaled on these gigantic skewers, and yeah, Brian took a fistful to the head as well. John Rare would light up some firecrackers on this light tube razor wire contraption, but he mistimed his jump, nearly getting himself killed in the process. There was this really weird moment where John Rare was walking around the outside of the ring, and he just started stabbing something into his own arm, and he opened himself up very badly. As if he hasn't suffered enough, there was another massive pile of firecrackers that were set off in the ring, and it looks like Rare was completely consumed by him. Brian White would get that pinfall, meaning that himself and Little Sicko would be moving on to the second round. Obey came out next to take on the Hardcore Hillbilly. Now, Hillbilly was caught up in these barbed wire ropes where Obey would light this massive line of firecrackers. We watched as Hardcore Hillbilly practically was burned alive here. Look at his skin. No clue how, but he continued the match. After a good while here, Blaine Evans entered the match late, getting this big advantage. The pun intended carnage continued with a Russian leg sweep into more razor wire. Blaine and Obey would hit a double suplex, sending Hillbilly into a kiddie pool of hell. They both would pin him, meaning they each move on to the second round. So next up, we would have the Carnage Cup 12 winner, Chewy Martinez, as he would go up against Sick Boy and Jay Blade. Blade ended up getting tossed all around in this match. Chewy was just having a good time in this one for sure. And Jay Blade was one that was not having a good time because he ended up getting DVD'd through a light tube log cabin. And if that wasn't enough to put him away, he was double teamed here by Chewy and Sick Boy, taking a doomsday device through another set of log cabins. And yep, that would be the end for Jay Blade. He would be eliminated here. In the final triple threat match in the first round, the Necro Butcher was taking part in his first Carnage Cup since the second one back in 2006, where he won the whole thing. He would be going up against Bryant Woods and Jimmy Controversy, who also joined this match late. Necro didn't seem to like Jimmy too much, I'm gonna be honest. And I guess neither did Bryant Woods for that matter. It seemed like every time Jimmy tried to get involved in the match, Necro or Woods would just swat him away. As this fight spilled out around the fans, Bryant really tore into his opponents. Jimmy Controversy tested the patience of Bryant Woods long enough until he was yeeted through a couple dozen light tubes to finally get himself eliminated. Necro and Bryant will move forward. Round 2 started with Little Sicko facing Obey. And the match itself was started with some submission attempts, but the panes of glass would soon be shattered. Little Sicko would fly high with this nice moonsault, and after beating the hell out of one another, Sicko would finish Obey off with a beautiful Spanish fly through a pane of glass and, yeah, razor wire. Little Sicko heads to the finals as the suicidal beast Bryant Woods would walk down to the ring next to take on Blaine Evans. Blaine realized the best way to take on a tank of a man like Bryant Woods would be to target his legs. After taking a ton of punishment, enough would be enough, and Woods would turn the tide with a big power slam through a light tube crucifix. A 3 count later, and Bryant Woods finds himself in the finals of the Carnage Cup for a third time. In the next match, Chewy Martinez went one-on-one with Brian White. And wow, this would be a complete one-sided beatdown where Chewy basically used one hand for most of this match. I'm not kidding. I mean, look at this. I don't quite know what this was. Maybe hot oil or hot wax? I'm not sure. They said it was like rubbing alcohol and lemon juice and commentary. I don't know about that, but either way, it left Brian screaming for his life. Whatever it was, it put an end to the match. Chewy would pin him in just over 5 minutes, sending Brian White running off for some help. In the final second round match, Necro Butcher went to war with Sick Boy. From the start, these light tubes would cut Butcher's back open pretty bad. And then Necro would once again take his opponent for a little stroll around the fans, brawling all over the place. It seemed like anytime Necro was about to leave his feet, he would be able to reverse it and punish Sick Boy for even trying. Eventually, he would be able to latch on to Sick Boy with his Asionic spike to force Sick Boy to tap out. The finals were set, and with the sun coming down, cart headlights were used as well as flashlights so we could see what was going on in the ring. The finals consisted of the Necro Butcher, Little Sicko, Bryant Woods, and Chewy Martinez. And this would be elimination rules here, people. There was a lot of chaos going on here in the ring for the whole first part of this match. I mean, look at this. Light tubes and blood were just flying everywhere. Little Sicko took the fight to Necro on the outside of the ring, while Bryant Woods would toss Chewy off the ring apron through light tubes, carpet strips, and a barbed wire board. That would mark the first elimination of this match, meaning that Chewy would not be winning the Carnage Cup back-to-back. Just about a minute later, Bryant Woods would make his second elimination by laying Necro out with a lariat. period. We are now down to just Little Sicko and Bryant Woods. You could see a little bit of a size advantage here. Yeah, Little Sicko would be in for a world of hurt while Woods began to just overpower him with ease. After the slam, Woods even pinned Sicko, but then called for the match to start over for some reason. When the match continued, he nearly killed Little Sicko in that ring. They would then climb to the top of this U-Haul truck where Bryant Woods would lift Sicko up and bring him crashing down through a huge light tube, glass, barbed wire, multi-layered contraption. Woods would crawl over and once again pin Little Sicko, this time putting an end to the 13th IWA Deep South Carnage Cup. After eliminating all three opponents here,